The day I caught my girlfriend with my dad, I was planning our future. My name is Mark. I'm 26 years old, and a year ago, I believed I had everything. Sarah and I had been together for 4 years, living in our small apartment above the cafe where I worked. We talked about getting married, buying a house, maybe even having a couple of kids. She was my rock, my best friend, the person I shared every dream with. Everything felt right, like it was finally falling into place. But everything changed when I walked into my childhood home unannounced. We met at a local music festival. I was volunteering. She was selling her handmade jewelry. Her smile lit up the whole park, and her laugh was infectious. I was immediately smitten. We spent the entire weekend together, and by Monday I knew she was special. My parents adored her. My mom would always say, "She's good for you, Mark. Keep her close." Even my dad, usually reserved, seemed to warm up to her quickly, always making jokes and offering to help her with her art commissions. Everyone said we were meant to be. He was quiet, introspective, loyal. She was vibrant, artistic, empathetic. She remembered little things, like how I took my coffee and that I hated olives. When I bought a ring, I didn't hesitate. This was my person, my forever. Our relationship was stable, comfortable. We had our routines, our inside jokes, our shared dreams. My dad, a retired carpenter, often helped us with small repairs around our apartment. He'd come over, fix a leaky faucet, hang a new shelf, and Sarah would always make him coffee or offer him a beer. They seemed to bond over their shared love for classic rock and gardening. I often saw them laughing together in the living room while I was busy cooking dinner. It warmed my heart to see the two most important people in my life getting along so well. Looking back, the signs were there, small moments that flickered past like shadows I couldn't quite grasp. My dad would linger a little too long when he hugged Sarah goodbye. She'd wear certain outfits only when he was coming over. I brushed it off. They were family now. What else could it be? It started subtly. Sarah would get texts at odd hours, always from a client or her sister. Her phone became an extension of her hand, always face down, always muted. When I'd jokingly try to peek, she'd snatch it away with a nervous laugh. "You're so nosy, Mark," she'd say, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. Then there were the late nights. She'd say she was staying late at the studio, working on a big order. "I need to focus," she'd explain. "No distractions." I wanted to believe her. I trusted her implicitly. My gut, though, tightened every time she made an excuse. "Why does her shirt smell like aftershave?" I'd wonder, dismissing it as my dad's scent from earlier in the day when he'd visited. I told myself I was being paranoid, insecure. She loved me. She wouldn't. She couldn't. I was wrong. And that's when things got worse. The whispers began. Small town, word travels fast. Friends would ask me, "Hey, I saw Sarah at the diner with your dad the other day. Everything okay?" I'd laugh it off. "Yeah, they're grabbing lunch. He helps her with her craft fair setup." But the questions chipped away at my certainty. One afternoon, my sister called, her voice tight with unease. "Mark, I saw Dad's car parked outside Sarah's studio late last night. Just his car, no one else's." My blood ran cold. "He was probably just dropping something off," I stammered. But even as I said it, the words tasted like ash. My mind raced, piecing together the unusual hours, the secretive phone calls, the growing distance between us. I confronted Sarah. "Is something going on with you and my dad?" I asked, trying to keep my voice even. She looked at me, a blank expression, then burst into tears. "How could you even ask that, Mark? How could you accuse me? He's like a second father to me." Her tears felt like a knife twisting in my chest, making me feel guilty for even questioning her. I apologized, feeling like the worst boyfriend in the world. I should have listened to my gut. But I wasn't ready for what I discovered next. The air in my childhood home felt thick, suffocating. I had gone to visit my mom, who was out running errands to drop off some groceries. My dad's car was in the driveway, which was unusual for a Tuesday afternoon. I called out, "Dad? Mom? Anyone home?" No answer. I walked through the quiet house towards the living room, and then I heard it, a muffled laugh, undeniably Sarah's. It came from my dad's study, a room he rarely used. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic bird trapped in my chest. My hands trembled as I pushed open the door. The sight that greeted me froze me to the spot. There they were, on the old leather couch, my girlfriend Sarah and my father, in an embrace that left no room for doubt. Sarah's hair was disheveled, her shirt askew. My dad's hand was on her back, his eyes wide with shock as he saw me. The world tilted. A strangled gasp escaped my lips. What is this?" I choked out, my voice barely a whisper. Sarah pulled away, scrambling to adjust her clothing, her face a mask of horror. My dad just sat there, stunned, his eyes meeting mine with a mixture of shame and defiance. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the violent pounding in my ears. I felt like I was watching myself from outside my body, numb and detached, as if this couldn't possibly be real. My father, my own father, with the woman I loved, the woman I was going to marry. My world shattered in that moment. I don't remember much of what happened in the immediate aftermath. A primal scream tore from my throat. I lashed out, not physically, but with words I didn't even know I possessed, aimed at both of them. Sarah was crying, begging me to listen, to understand. My dad, for the first time in my life, looked small and broken. I turned and ran, not caring where I was going, just needing to escape the suffocating betrayal. I ended up at a friend's place, shaking uncontrollably, trying to make sense of the fragmented images in my head. My mom called, frantic, asking where I was. I couldn't bring myself to tell her what I'd seen, not yet. The days that followed were a blur of tears, anger, and excruciating pain. Sarah kept calling, texting, trying to explain. My dad sent an email, full of hollow apologies. Every message was a fresh wound. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The woman I loved, and the man I respected, my own father, had conspired to destroy me. It was the lowest point of my life. I had to make the hardest decision of my life, a decision that would unravel my entire family. It's been 6 months since that day. I moved out of the apartment, broke up with Sarah, and stopped speaking to my dad. Sarah tried to salvage things, but there was no coming back from that. My mom eventually found out, and the fallout within my family has been devastating. There are still gaping wounds, conversations left unsaid, betrayals that fester. I'm living alone now, trying to rebuild my life, piece by painful piece. It's a slow process. Some days I feel strong, like I can move forward. Other days the images come flooding back, and the anger and sadness are overwhelming. I'm learning to trust myself again, to listen to that gut feeling I ignored for so long. It's not a fairy tale ending, there's no quick fix, but I am finding my way, one step at a time. This whole ordeal taught me a painful but crucial lesson. Sometimes the people closest to you are capable of the deepest betrayals. It taught me the importance of boundaries, of listening to your intuition, and of knowing your own worth. If you find yourself in a situation where something feels off, don't dismiss it. Trust your gut. Your peace of mind is worth more than any strained relationship or false sense of security. It hurts, it tears you apart, but you are stronger than you think. You will heal, and you will find your own path forward, even if it's one you never imagined.